Greetings, fellow Poltermasters. Greetings, fellow Poltermasters. I'm Crash Rowsell, and it's once again time to crash the Skylands with the end of the year Q&A. Thank you so much for coming and watching this video today. This is usually once a year, well, usually every year at the end of the year. I always do usually a giant live stream or do a big Q&A where I, get you guys to ask as many questions as you want, and I answer a bunch of them on video, and then I reply to the comments the next day. And that's exactly what I'm doing here today. So thank you so much for watching this end of the year video. This is the last video of the year, of course, because this is uploaded on the 31st. Now, if you don't know how this works, it's very simple. You guys asked me 109 comments were left. Now, there's multiple questions on those, so I'll explain that a little bit too. But a while ago, I posted a video where I said you guys can ask me any question you want for a Q&A. It can be about Skylanders, it can be about personal, anything you like, an open-ended Q&A. And what I'm doing is I'm going to be randomly choosing 25 questions to answer here live on video. And if your question does not get answered in the video, do not worry. I will be replying you directly tomorrow during New Year's Day, because I have the day off. I usually don't do anything on the New Year's Day. I will literally sit around the house and just answer all your questions in a comment, even if I answer it here on video. So if you don't get your question answered today, don't worry about it. I will be personally replying to you in the comments, so don't worry about that. So how is it going to work, right? So I did go to a random comment picker on Google. So I just took all the comments. There's 109 unique comments. I think it's 109 comments. I think there's a couple replies, so they don't actually take those ones. So I apologize if your question was in a reply. I will be answering. I'll be adding you in the thing. Now, if you put multiple questions in one, now this is probably the one that a lot of people ask, because I say only ask one question. If you put multiple questions in one, I'm only going to be answering the first question here on video. So whatever you have as number one, that's the one I'm answering. Unless it's two questions and it's what's your favorite Skylander and why? That's why. Also, apologize if I start coughing. I was supposed to film this last week, but I came down with a very, very bad flu. And I'm basically recovered, but I still have a dry throat, which I do gotta just remind myself to get some water so I can have that. So if I do cough or anything in the middle of the video, I apologize. I'm still trying to get over it. But yeah, I'm going to be answering only one question. If you have a giant list of questions, they're going to be appearing right here for the first part of it, and then I'm just going to be answering the question, and we're going to go from there. Not sure how long this video is going to be. They're usually pretty long, these Q&As. And remember, if I don't ask or answer your question in the video, then I will be doing it on the comments afterwards, and I promise that one. All right, without further ado, let's get started. I'm hitting the start here now. It's going through all the questions here too, so. Oh, what a great question to kick us off with. It's by Caleb Barnes. What is the story of you and Maggie, and where did you guys meet? That's a good start. So me and Maggie met, so if you guys didn't know, me and my girlfriend, Maggie is my girlfriend's dog. So I came into their life when we met. So when I was in college, I was doing veterinary assistant receptionist, which is ironic because I'm not even in that field at all anymore. During a day, we did a practical day, which was the day you bring in your own animals as long as they're okay with being handled and stuff. And my girlfriend, who we weren't even together at the time, we barely even spoke at that time, she brought in her dog, Maggie. And I went and came around the corner. Maggie's right behind me, by the way. She's in her bed. You can't see her. She's in her bed right now. But she came into the building, and I came around the corner with another one of my classmates. And as soon as I came around the corner, Maggie bolted up to me. And was freaking out, super excited, oh my god, it's you kind of thing. And I'm just well, hello, doggy, and I had no clue who this dog was. And then I looked up and seen my girlfriend and went, well, not at the time, my girlfriend now. And I was oh, this is Maggie, this is your dog, because I happen to know who the dog was. And she was obsessed with me. She had never seen me before in her entire life, and she was going insane. This was the greatest person she ever met in her entire life. I guess she knew something, right? She's probably a big fan of the channel, is what it was. And, so that was the first time we met. And then a little while later, we were all split up in different classrooms doing practicals because there were just so many animals and so many people in the class. We all split up in different rooms. So a little bit later, I went over to the building to get more things, and Maggie happened to be there, and Maggie tried to leave with me. So when I was trying to go and get ready to go, and Maggie was surrounding me, oh my god, it's you again, get me out of here, because there was so much going on, and she tried to leave with me. And this is not my dog. This is the first time I've ever met her. So she even tried to leave with me, and of course, my girlfriend, who now is my girlfriend at the time, was come on, leave him alone, we're trying to do something over here. So then when we started dating, it was pretty exciting because I'm just like, Maggie's going to be so excited that I'm here. And then I remember when, I think it was like after, it was like the second time we ever like went out for anything. And I went back to her house afterwards and Maggie was there. And she went insane. Like, she was so stoked to see me because it was like, oh my God, it's you again. And she's been my girl ever since. So it's been almost 4 years now that we've been together. I've known Maggie now for almost 5 years. And she's literally the greatest thing that ever happened to me. The baby girl, Maggie May. She's sleeping. She's tired. Thank you very much, Caleb, for that one. That's the very short version of it. There is a longer version, but yeah, that's the story of how me and Maggie met. So first question, off to a great start, in my opinion. Our next question is from Jepa Tiesco, and again, I apologize if I butcher these names. Jepa Tiesco, are there any Skylanders that you believe should have been in a starter pack that weren't? Okay, this is a good question. I like this one just because a starter pack literally gives you the first look at a Skylander, and I mean, the reason I even bought Spyro's Adventure was because Spyro was in it. So looking back at it, I know in, what was it? I don't think Food Fight was a great start for Trap Team just because so many other cores are way better than him in my opinion. And I know Mike Noid, if you're watching, I'm sorry, I'm not a Food Fight fan. But I feel like that one there, they should have given it to, say, maybe not Batspin. They should have given it to the one where the people got to name them. Because remember, there was a contest where you can name a couple Skylanders. So if they started off with High Five instead of Food Fight, I think that would have been an interesting combination because you would have had Snapshot right off the bat and then have High Five, which is like, this is, and even have a thing saying, named after you, named by you, the people playing. And I think that would have been a really cool thing to do. So replacing Food Fight with High Five, I think would have been a better choice because you still have a Life Skylander. You can still use the Life little trap that came with it so they all come together. I also don't like the fact that they put Ninja Stealth Elf in Swap Force. I know they did it because they did the new characters and they wanted to introduce the new unique cores, but they shouldn't have done that. They gave you two swappers and then Ninja Stealth Elf, like a character you already have that's established. So they want you to buy the ones you've already had before instead of buying the new cores. So I felt like they should have done anyone. Imagine putting Bumble Blast in there. Like, imagine on day one you get Washbuckler, Blast Zone, and Bumble Blast. Well, not Bumble Blast because Blast and Blast wouldn't work, but like, what about Pop Thorn? Even Slobbertooth. Like, I think having Ninja Stealth Elf in the starter pack was not a good choice because it just shows like, hey, we already have these established Skylanders. Let's show you more that you can get now, and you can get doubles of them, and all they have is one unique add-on, which I don't like. So yeah, I think they should have replaced Food Fight with High Five and just got rid of Ninja Stealth Elf, replaced with literally any core. So thank you, Jepa, for that question. All right, our next question is by William Nee. What makes a good pizza? Pizza, not pizza, pizza. Sauce. The toppings, of course, is always a great choice when it comes to pizza, but for me, the sauce is always the killer because I've had so much pizza where the flavors were so good because of the sauce and mixed into it along with the cheese and the toppings, and the bread was always good with it, but a good sauce makes a perfect pizza, in my opinion. I absolutely love, there's a local pizza spot here in town called Big Cheese, and I say here in town, it's actually kind of a little bit outside of town, but they have one of the best sauces ever, and I always ask for extra sauce because the toppings are fantastic, but the sauce is so good. Now, I'm a big bread dude too, so I mean, I've had a pizza before where the sauce was great, but the bread wasn't really cooked, and it was still doughy, and I'm not a big fan of that. When it comes to texture, but yeah, sauce is definitely the number one for me. It is good to have some nice fresh toppings on it too. Don't get me wrong with that. I love having my salami. Yeah, I put salami on it instead of pepperoni. I switch it up. I do like pepperoni, don't get me wrong. But I randomly used to put salami on it instead of pepperoni once, and it completely changed the perspective for me. Everyone who's tried it since is just like, oh man, actually yeah, salami slaps. It's really good. Salami, bacon, mushrooms, Italian sausage, ground beef, those are usually always my go-to toppings. That's usually what the girlfriend likes, and I like all of them except for pineapple because I'm not a heathen. I do like everything on pizza, but yeah, a good sauce makes a good pizza. Thank you, William. That was a very unique question. All right, our next question, number 4, is from Brandononian. Brandononian? Which Skylander do you think should have been a swapper, and what swapper should have been a core? Ah, okay. I think I've always asked this one during like a what was it called? Question of the days for like the Swap Force ones, but it's good for me to have my answer. What swapper do you think should have been a swapper? I think Blast Zone should have been like a regular core. I don't think he should have been a swapper. I feel like he's just way too basic looking when it comes to like all the other characters. I know when you split them, they look a little bit different, but like with Blast Zone, he just looks kind of basic. He looks just like an Archean robot, and I think he would have been fine with it. I think that Smolder Dash would have been a better replacement for him. So I think we're switching the fire elements. Blast Zone and Smolder Dash switching together. So having the bottom of her be like the fast, what's it called? The fast ring around her so it explodes and then you can make her super fast. Kind of what Blast Zone does now. But then the top being able to do the whip, but then at the bottom be able to switch it. So have like, she'll have her whip move, but then be able to use like Doomstone's terrain clearing one where you can take out all the chompies. I think that would be an excellent mix with them. But yeah, Blast Zone I think is just too basic when it comes to a Skylander. He's just an Archean robot. And I feel like they could have done something way crazier with him. I think Punk Shock would have been an interesting swapper too, because she still would have had her arrows for the top shot, but then her tail to smack down to do the electricity moves. So I think that would be an interesting swapper too. And what's the other one? I think Trap Shadow is fantastic as a swapper, so I don't think he should switch. I know a lot of people think Trap Shadow should have been a core. But yeah, I think like Punk Shock or Smolder Dash should have been a swapper, and Blast Zone should have been the regular core. I think that would have been a little bit better. Imagine having Smolder Dash right at the top. So Smolder and Dash, and then you have like Smolder Buckler, you know? I think that'd be an interesting one instead of Blast Zone, you know, Blast Bird and all that stuff. But yeah, I think that's what I'm going to go with. Thank you, Brandonian. Brandonian, whatever, how you pronounce your name. Again, I'm going to butcher these. Thank you so much for your question. Our next question is from Luca LLV. What is your opinion on the light elements? When it first got introduced, I was very intrigued. When like I seen Trap Team come up and there was 2 new elements, like mystery elements, I was like, oh, what is that? And I remember this was when I was even thinking about doing a YouTube, like doing my Skylander channel. This is back when I was still doing Pushpin Gamer, my old YouTube channel. So I never really had a discussion option, and I really went on my way and watched videos about it to see what the theory was. So when the light actually got introduced, I thought it was super cool. I was like, okay, light and dark elements, they make sense. I think that'll work. And then he introduced the characters. Nightlight, nailed it. Thought Nightlight was the best addition they could have added, for sure. I absolutely love playing as Nightlight. He's my favorite light Skylander for a reason. And Spotlight was enough to impress me. I said, oh cool, a light dragon looks really good, plays pretty well. I'll eventually get it. It only took me like another 7 years, but I got it eventually. Thank you, Brylander. So I was introduced. I thought, wow, I'm good. I like it. Then in Superchargers, they kind of threw it under the bus. Because I felt like they didn't do much with the light or dark in the newer games. Even with Imaginators, I felt like they kind of fell off the wagon. They only gave 2 Skylanders. While every other game gets all these ones. So, like, yes, they did it in... what was it? I know with Superchargers, they didn't have any kind of Skylanders they can reintroduce, but they could have gave us 4 new Skylanders. They could have gave us 2 new lights and 2 new darks, instead of just having Astroblast and Nightfall, which neither of them impressed me. Because I'm like, you're coming off of 2 of my favorite Skylanders with Nightlight and Blackout with Light and Dark, and then in Superchargers you're giving me Astroblast and Nightfall. So I was kind of thrown away with the light element in Superchargers. I was like, I don't really know. And the fact they kind of forced you to buy Astroblast and the Sunrunner to be able to get the trophy, I didn't like that either. So they did it weird. They did the light element dirty, in my opinion. Then, of course, in Imaginators, that light Sensei Realm was the worst thing to ever be created in Skylanders. Like, I don't know who came up with that idea with Lux and Lumosa. I would tell them they're dumb. I probably dislike them as much as I dislike FGTV. But, like, they did them dirty, man. But Aurora and Blastertron, excellent choices. But, like, Blastertron was... He was magic. And then he switched... Was he magic? I think it was magic. And then he switched to light. Or tech. One of them. So, like... They were, it was odd. It was like they had a great start, and then they just didn't know where to go with it, and they fell off the wagon. And the dark element they did fine with. Like Nightfall, after playing with her, I can see the appeal, but coming out of such a strong start with Trap Team with the light elements, they kind of fell off the wagon and then didn't really know how to put it back on. So I like the light elements. I love the idea, I love the concept of it, but I can tell you, they needed just a little bit more just to make it perfect. So, Luke, I hope that works for you with the light element. Had to cough, though, the whole time. Did you notice? But thank you, Luca, for your comment or your question, and I hope that answers it for you there. All right. 5 questions in. We're at number 6. Skylander Lukey. In your opinion, what is the best mechanic in any Skylanders levels or game? Swappers. I've said it once. I'll say it again. I'll say it 100 times. Even though Superchargers is my favorite game in the franchise and I love the racing, it still blows my mind that you can take one Skylander, rip it apart, put another Skylander on it, and it still knows the Skylander. And you can use those unique abilities with it. For 3 games in, that was so cool, and it still blows my mind to this day. And I don't know how they do it. I know the magnets do something with the NFC chip to make it work like that, I know. But I still think it's one of the coolest things to ever be introduced in a game. That's so cool and so unique. No other game out there does something like that. I absolutely love the fact that you can take 2 Skylanders and mush them together and take, like, you can take Doomstone and you can take Boomjet and you can rip them apart, and then you got Doomjet or you got Boomstone. And they play completely different. So you literally you buy 2 Swap Force Skylanders, you have 4 different Skylanders to play as. Because you have the 2 regular Skylanders, then the fact they can swap, so you get 4 different Skylanders right out of the gate, and it's so fun. It's so cool. The uniqueness of it is just amazingly fun. I absolutely love playing with the Swap Force characters because every single Swap Force you get, every combination, I mean, go back and watch my Swap Block. I played with so many unique combinations, some of them better than others, some of them worse than others. I had a blast. And I mean, I even did a top 5 swapper combinations because of some of the ones that I know that stuck in my head that I love so much. Because certain Skylanders, I think, benefited adding a second part to it, and some of them got better when you took off one of those parts. So, yeah, Swap Force definitely killed it. It is the best mechanic in all of the games. When it comes to levels, I think the fact that you can shrink down or become giant in Superchargers, I think that was pretty cool. You can become like super size and you can go fight the Titans, or you shrink right down into Gadfly Glades and become tiny. That was pretty cool too. But yeah, Swappers, 100% number 1. Lukey, thank you for the question. Our next question is from Sherry Miller. I noticed you said 1 question. So my question, Crash is our DLCs like Crash Bandicoot, and Mario characters, are they considered Skylanders? So my question, Crash is our DLCs like Crash Bandicoot, and Mario characters, are they considered Skylanders? So I guess this was kind of written a little odd, but I think what they're trying to say is the fact that Donkey Kong and Bowser, are they considered Skylanders? Yeah, they are. The versions of them, the turbocharged and the Hammer Slam, along with Crash Bandicoot and Dr. Neo Cortex, I think they are considered Skylanders because they are not fully canon to the actual like Mario lore. Now they are amiibos and they're also Skylanders too. So I think the Hammer Slam versions and Turbocharged are definitely Skylanders, while they just come over to Skylanders to help out. Now of course they don't work in other games, but I do consider them Skylanders. Like I consider Donkey Kong and Bowser Skylanders, but I'm not going to go and play Mario and be like, hey, look, it's the Skylander Bowser. It's more like they helped out in Skylands, which is interesting because like Bowser knows the supervillain, but he also goes go-karting and mini golfing with Mario. So yeah, I consider them Skylanders because of those variants. I don't consider the actual characters Skylanders, of course, but I consider their variants Skylanders. So I hope that is the correct answer you're looking for, and I hope that is the actually correct question. But thank you, Sherry, very much for that question. Our next question is from King Toasts. He's been on the channel for a while. I remember seeing that name a nice few times. Has your top 30 changed at all since you last did your list? Okay. Of course the top 10 has not. I feel like my top 10 is going to be like my solid choices. The other thing with that one too is I did only take 5 Skylanders from each game, and I feel like there are certain Skylanders in certain games I do like more than the other ones. Like I think Superchargers actually had to kind of like maneuver a little bit more. Not Skylanders, Swap Force had to, no, was it Swap Force? One of the games I had to actually like Giants. It was Giants. I had to actually like work a little bit more because like I don't feel like all the 5 from Giants I chose would actually be on my top 30. I just wanted to make it fair. So yeah, a little bit would change. If I go back and play with all the Skylanders I've done for Odyssey Half Hour, I've had so much fun with certain ones, but I do know like my top 5 and my top 10 haven't changed, but a certain other Skylanders might get on the list. Not enough for me to warrant to do a brand new list, basically. I know I will be doing every Sensei rank and top 10 least favorite Skylanders list once Odyssey Half Hour is done, which in the new year, it's very close to being finished, which is wild to think. So yeah, I would say it's changed only a little bit. It's not enough for me to redo the list completely over from the beginning. Probably in like my 10th year, I'll probably do it again or something like that. That'll be my like 33rd birthday then, no? Yeah, 33rd, because I'm turning 32 next year, and that'll be my 9th year on YouTube. So Maybe I'll do top 33 then. There we go. We'll sprinkle a couple more in. Probably not. But yeah, they haven't changed much, but I feel like certain ones probably get added or might have moved up a little bit more because I've had more fun playing with them. But yeah, I don't think it changed drastically. So yeah, only a little bit. Thank you, King Toast, for your question. Our next question is from the Sky Lad. Would you buy the instant versions of Skylanders from the mobile games if they were released as real figures? Instant versions of Skylanders from mobile games. Instant versions? Oh, like Instant Spitfire? Well, yeah. I feel like I would buy any Skylander figure that's out there anyways, as long as it's worth like as long as it's a decent price. But no, I don't really know much about the instant version. I guess it's from, like, say, I know Superchargers, you can have Instant Spitfire and Instant Hot Streak. I didn't know there's any other instant versions. So if there is, yeah, of course, I would definitely go and consider looking at getting the figures, because if they're actually playable figures you can put in the game is pretty cool. I think that would be pretty unique. But yeah, I don't think I would want to be like, oh yeah, I gotta go get them. It's more like, oh, the instant version's out, I'm gonna go grab those. So I think that'd be pretty cool. I mean, it'd be nice. That would be a very unique figure to have. It's like, hey, I have the instant figure of Spitfire, and you're just like, but it's the point of instant. It pops on the screen. You're like, yeah, and it's a cool figure though. So yeah, I would probably buy them as a real figure. I don't see why I wouldn't. I think this is a pretty unique one because I don't really know all the instant versions. So Sky, if you're watching, let me know in the comment about all the instants, because I only know about like Instant Spitfire and Instant Hot Streak. So definitely let me know if there's other instant ones, and I would probably buy them, I'll be honest. Because I even said to Ring of Heroes when I was part of the, the Ambassador program, is if you guys did release figures, I will be buying them day one, just a heads up. And I'll be doing and playing when I'm on the channel. Like, I'd be doing that. Now look at Ring of Heroes. Did that close out this year? Was it actually this year? I think it was this year. Oh man, what a year. So yeah, Skyline, I hope that works out for the question, and let me know if there is any instance that I don't know about, but I would definitely buy those figures. Sounds really cool. Thank you for your question. We are 10 questions, I was going to say 10 seconds in. We're 10 questions in, and we're at Blackie HD saying, if you have to play every Skylander games with only one Skylander, what would the Skylander be? Y'all are going to think I'm going to say Bash, because I've done that. I've beaten 5 of the games with just Bash. I have not beaten Imaginators with them since they nerfed them. It's really hard for me to do it. I know I can do it, though. If I just put a lot of time into it, I definitely could beat them. But I mean, fighting Chaos. Ugh. Hate fighting super mega super awesome whatever it's called chaos at the end. I just don't like fighting them in general. So but if I can only beat one with one Skylander game with only one Skylander, so I guess I have to pick a Skylander from Spyro's Adventure, because that's the only way I can beat all 6 games. I think Gil would be very fun to play with. I did do a solo run with just Gil of Spyro's Adventure, and I did lose at the end, but then I just gave it a second try in honestly half hour and nailed it. But yeah, I think like Gil, Trigger, or Spyro, just any of the original starter guys would work. I do love playing as Bash myself, though, because I have beaten 5 games with just Bash. So still have that little tick with Imaginators haven't beaten yet, but I'll probably do that in the future. But yeah, Bash would be my number 1, but after that I think Gil Grunt would be a really fun one to play as, and then each game I could actually do his different versions until I get to Imaginators, which then I could just create an Imaginator of Gil Grunt. There we go. Maybe that could be a series idea. Can I beat every Skylander game with the Gil Grunt that came out in the game? Yeah. Future video idea for me right there. Thank you, Blackie. You're giving me video ideas. But thank you so much for that question. I hope that one works. I hope Gil is a good choice. If not, Trigger Happy or Spyro. If you don't like that, then I guess Prism Break. That sounds fun. All right, next we have Johnny D. Fox Streams, a very long time viewer. I remember seeing this one so many times, his name so many times. What made you want to start becoming a YouTuber? Back in the ripe old age of 2006, I was on a website called Tagged. It was a social media kind of website around when Facebook first started coming out. And what Tagged would be was you would literally become friends with these random people on the internet, and then you tag them and stuff. So you could find like videos, pictures, anything online, and you would tag them in it, and you become friends with them. Like you would just chat with them. You'd be like, hey, this is you, huh? You know? So you're just tagging people and stuff. And a lot of people were using YouTube links for Tagged. And I remember watching a YouTube video by Kitty0706, I think is what his name. He did Team Fortress 2 videos, and there were like humor videos involved, and they were like really stupid comedy looking back at it now. I still quote one of them, the strawberries. I say that all the time because of that video. So, you know what, Brandon? You stink. That's if I ever hear me say that there or smells like strawberries, that's actually where I got that video from. The Elliot Goes to School series, for anybody who might know it. So back when I started doing that, that was back when I got my own camera, my own little digital camera. I was filming a bunch of things, you know, I wanted to become super famous. Back when I was younger, I wanted to do a TV show called The Carson Network where everything was related to me, you know? That's what I wanted to do. So of course, when I got a platform to put my videos on with YouTube, I gave it a shot. I was one of the first YouTubers out there, in my opinion. So what I did at first was I started doing my own little content where I just posted the most random things. My first ever YouTube video I uploaded was a slideshow of the professional wrestler AJ Styles back in 2006. My first ever video that I uploaded of basically myself was on the way home from my 16th birthday party. My two friends, Philip and Dover, who's famous known for the 2009 Skylander Royal Rumble, were in the back of the car singing a Kelly Clarkson song. And that was the first video I uploaded on YouTube that involved me. And I was just the cameraman. So that was my first ever YouTube video. And from there on out, I kept going, just doing odds and ends. I started to, my actual most successful channel besides for this one here was another channel called Surreal Life Wrestling. I was actually planning on doing a wrestling league, but it kind of fell through afterwards. I decided not to do it. And what I would do is, at the time, Grand Theft Auto San Andreas was really popular, and there was a lot of myths involved. So with Bigfoot, Leatherface from Texas Chainsaw Massacre, Easter egg hunting, Loch Ness Monster, sharks, all this stuff, right? So I literally went out of my way to make these videos to prove these myths are real or not. So they started racking in the views. It was also at that time I started discovering what copyright was. And my channel got deleted because I kept uploading WWE at wrestling themes and Family Guy clips. Whenever I didn't have an video idea, I used to take these 5-second Family Guy clips and do my top fives and just throw them on YouTube, and they would get copyright. I remember a Family Guy video. No, it was a WWE themed video gave me my third copyright strike, and my channel got deleted. So then I knew. And then I started doing sketch comedy. I switched over to the gaming aspect of it, and after Pushman Gamer, I became Crash the Skylands. If you want more details about my entire YouTube career, you can go check out my 7 fun facts about Crash the Skylands. I actually tell you every single YouTube channel I had the entire time. So yeah, what made me want to become a YouTuber? I wanted to be famous. And now I just do it because I love Skylanders, and I love you guys. Especially you, Johnny. I'm watching you, Johnny. You the man. Hope that does it for you. But thank you for that question. It was awesome. I love going down memory lane with that. Forgot tagged was even the thing. I've met a couple actual lifelong friends from there. So pretty cool stuff. Thank you, Johnny. Hope that answers it for you. We got Pot of Boiling Water next for number 12. Of all the Skylanders out, which do you think is the most middle of the road? Which one would be closest to the middle if you ranked every Skylander ever? Okay, so what Skylander is the most basic Skylander that I would have fun with, but not enough to be one of the greatest Skylanders? That's a really good question, actually. And I have a very easy answer for that one. It's going to be High Five. Yeah, I mentioned him earlier in the video because I thought he'd be a great trap team starter one. But I still feel like High Five would be one of the most basic Skylanders out there. Playing as High Five, I have a blast with. He's great with keeping health. He's great with doing range and close attacks. But I know for a fact that that Skylander is so middle tier versus so many other Skylanders out there. That's the Skylander I don't think I can go any higher with, basically. I think with him, he's going to be just fantastic on his own. And there's nothing wrong with that. There's nothing wrong with that. I think he would be, if I had to do all almost 200 Skylanders ranked, High Five I think will be right there in the middle. Because I don't think I can go any lower with him, and I don't think he can go any higher. So I think he's very middle tier. Along with that, I think say Lightning Rod or Camo would probably be there too, just because those two are kind of middle base that are pretty good but not great. Even Pop Fizz, I think he's fine, but he's not perfect. And I know that's coming from, everybody who loves Pop Fizz. Just to look at a few of them, for example, I'm looking behind me. Rattleshake probably be in the middle. There's Skylanders that, if you chose it in the Chosen Lock, I wouldn't be mad. Because I'm oh, okay, I get to play with them. But I also wouldn't go out of my way and grab them off the shelf to play with them, I think that's how it works. So I think that's pretty good. But I'm going to say officially High Five for my list for this one, because I think that's going to be perfectly in the middle once I eventually do that every Skylander rank video. So quote me on that one. Point of boiling water, not pint. Point. Pot. I'm falling apart. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, thank you for that one. Thank you, Pot of Boiling Water, for that question. And I hope that answers it for you. Remember, quote me on it. Right smack dab in the middle. Happy girl? Yeah. Happy baby. Happy baby. This is what she does every night when I come home. Rubs her face because she's so excited. She's so happy. And she's stressing. Huddy Gherkin. Would you rather bring Skylanders back, but Bash is erased from history, or Skylanders never comes back, but Bash stays? That's a good question. That's one of those questions that actually make you legitimately think. So, do I sacrifice my favorite Skylander to bring back one of my favorite franchises, or do I keep the franchise null where it is and it never comes back, but I still get to play as Bash? For the greater good, we have to sacrifice Bash. I know, I'm sorry. Even the Bash right there is staring at me right now, but I feel like we need to have more Skylander content. We need to be able to play more games and get a new game. We can't just sit playing the same 6 games over and over again. And I feel like we need the 7th game, and if it takes Bash as a sacrifice, he'll understand, you know? And I still have other Skylanders. I can still play as Wildfire, or I can play as Doomstone, you know? But my baby boy Bash, I'll miss him so much. But Bop is still around. That's right, baby. I found a loophole. Yeah, you never said Bop. Nuh-uh. So that means I can still play as Bop, though. You see that? It's called a loophole. And this is where you go, no, Crash. And you didn't say it. You didn't put it on the comment saying, but Bash and Bop is gone. You just said Bash. Yeah. You see that loophole, though? I took that loophole and I ran around with it, you know? So yeah, 100%. I would give up Bash because I still got Bop. Give that one. But in all seriousness, I would give up Bash to get a new Skylander game. If Bash was erased from history, yeah, to have a new Skylander game, of course, I would. I would have to take one for the team. And that's fine. If I went to the Oracle and said Bash never exists and he'll wait for your mind, you never had it, I'll never even know he was gone. I'll just be like, weird, 31 Skylanders. That's a weird number. Why do they only have 3 Earth ones? Strange. And then Bop will come like, oh, Bop's adorable. See? Loophole. But yeah, I would take one for the team. Unfortunately, Bash, you would have to go. But we do get a new Skylanders game. So, yeah. Huddy, that was a very good one. You just didn't get rid of my loophole. That's what it was. Yeah. Thank you, Huddy, for that one. That was a very good question. All right, we're getting down to it now. This is question number 15 from Microstation77. What is your opinion on Terrafin? He's been my favorite Skylander ever since I played the series. Terrafin's good. He's not one of those Skylanders that I go out of my way to play. He's also, I know that question I had a little while ago where it said, where would you put Terrafin? I wouldn't put him in the rank, in the middle, because to me, he's fun to play as. He does have a pretty unique moveset where he can go underground and jump up and attack, and his punches are really strong. But I don't see myself playing with him 24/7. I'm not a huge fan of Terrafin. I've played with him. I've done my Honest Half-Hour review with him and the Shark Shooter version. Don't know why they gave him a gun. Still don't understand it. But Terrafin is one of those Skylanders that, if he were to be randomly chosen, I'd be like, okay, I'm going to have a little bit of fun with him. But he's not one of those ones I'm going to go out of my way and play with. A lot of people out there like him. I know a lot of you guys out there who play this game love Terrafin. He is a very overall fun Skylander, don't get me wrong, I know you guys like that, but for me, he's not what I'm looking for, which is coming from the guy who just plays his Bash, who does a big tail whip spin. He does a lot more than that, first of all. But yeah, Terrafin, there's nothing wrong with him. He's not the most amazing Skylander. I did have a fun time playing with him when I did on Half-Hour, and of course, you can easily get that trophy where you gotta avoid all of the sharks by just going underground with him, so he's a little OP when it comes to that, but yeah. There's nothing wrong with Terrafin, he's just not my go-to Skylander. And if he's your favorite, I fully understand why. Thank you, Microstation, for your question. I hope that answers it for you there. And yeah, go play with Terrafin. He's really fun. Okay, so this is going to be one of those questions that has multiple questions, but I'm only going to answer the first one. So this happened to come up. This is by AnimeZilla Prime. Asked a bunch of questions. Now, for you who asked all those questions, I will be answering them myself in the comments. So you did ask a big question, but I'm only going to be answering the first one. So it's, if you could pick any girl Skylander to hang out with, who would it be? Boom Bloom, Ember, Golden Queen, or Stealth Elf? I'm not answering the other ones here on video. I'm actually going to be doing an @reply because to make it fair for everyone, I'm only going to answer one question because I don't want to ask all those because you asked me 4 questions actually. You pick 4 questions. So that would get rid of 4 of them. So I'm not doing that to make it fair. So I will be answering if I could pick any girl Skylander to hang out with between Boom Bloom, Ember, Golden Queen, and Stealth Elf. I think Golden Queen would be fun. You know why? Because she could pay for everything. It's truth. And if she gets mad at people, she can just, turn them golden. Yeah, because she has money all the time. She's literally there. She has like treasure. We can use golden scarabs. Golden scarabs are cool as hell too. I actually have a scarab on my team on Pokemon Scarlet. Rabska. I love him. But yeah, I think Golden Queen would be one of the coolest ones to hang out with. Stealth Elf would just keep disappearing, and I'd be like, you gotta stop, dude. You gotta stop there, dude. Dudette, sorry. Boom Boom and Ember are pretty cool too. I think that'd be awesome. But yeah, I think Golden Queen would be my go-to just because I think I'd have just a lot of fun hanging out with Golden Queen. It would just be a very unique experience is the best way to describe it. Especially if she gets angry at people and turns them into gold. I'm like, you gotta stop. You can't do that. That's illegal. They're gonna call the police on you. And there's no Traptanium in the real world. So like they ain't gonna be able to trap you later. She'd be like, oh, perfect. And I'm like, no, that's not how it works, Golden Queen. And then I'd have to be the voice of reason. You know I'm bad at that. Don't give me that. I don't want to be the voice of reason. But yeah, if I had to pick, Golden Queen is definitely going to be the one I hang out with out of those 4 options. My number 1 girl Skylander is going to be Scratch. I would love to play with that cat all day. So like, come on now. That's the actual answer. But out of the 4, I'd pick Golden Queen. And for the rest of your questions, don't worry. As I said at the beginning of the video, I will be answering them in the comments tomorrow. So look out for the answer for the rest of those in the comments tomorrow or a little bit later. You'll get an app from me anyway, so you'll see it. But yeah, thank you, AnimeZilla, for your questions. Sorry I didn't answer every single one, but I will be doing it tomorrow. Don't worry. Hope you understand. All right, next question is from Banana Power. Does your girlfriend play Skylanders too? Yes and no. She did play it when she was younger. She did play Spyro's Adventure and Giants, but never really played any of the newer ones. The only time she actually plays Skylanders now is the Royal Rumble every year. So she does help me record that. If you guys didn't know, for the last 4 years, she's been the second part to my Rumble. So anytime we've done like the Brawl for All or anything, she's always been the second player. She's been my player too for the last like 4 years. But she does play a handful of games, but not really Skylanders. When it comes to Skylanders, I don't really play it on my downtime anyways, but I know for a fact that if I were to say, hey, you want to play Skylanders with me, she'd say yes, because she absolutely loves Cinder. Cinder's one of her favorite Skylanders of all time, if not her favorite one. But she was playing as Trigger Happy in 2. She does have a bunch of the figures. To actually get Spyro's Adventure for the Xbox 360, we actually got her copy from her parents' house. And that's how I actually got that one. And I just need to get, and I already had Giants, I just had to get a portal in. So I got that one from her. So she had it. One of the first conversations she ever had, she actually came to the house, and that was when I was doing Skylanders Survivor. And she was like, oh, Cinder and Trigger. She knew some of the characters, and I'm just like, what? And that's how I knew she was the one, right? So, yes and no. She does play Skylanders. She just doesn't play it as frequent as she used to be, as she used to. She does play a lot of the newer stuff, like she's just playing Pokemon and stuff now, too. But if I were to ask her to play Skylanders, she'd probably say yes. So, or depending on the day. It's a lot of setup, and most of it's in the office, so she'd have to come to the office, and there's not really a comfortable spot in the office. It's just this one chair. She does record the Royal Rumble every year, though, so she does play Skylanders, just not all the time. Get you someone who plays Skylanders, or lets you play Skylanders. That's better. Thank you for your question, Banana Power. I hope that answers it for you. All right, of course, one of the questions I get is from Stewified. My question is simple. How is your beard so long? Totally asking for a friend, not because I want a beard, Stu. Stu, you can tell me. It's for me. Patience. And I was too lazy to shave one day. That's basically the real story of how I grew my beard out to where it is. There's no tips, no tricks, no styling options. It just did this one day. Literally got tired one day. I was supposed to shave, decided I didn't want to shave, and then it just kind of happened. So my beard has nothing special to it. I don't do anything special with it. The only thing I do special is I have a beard shampoo that I wash with whenever I have a shower. So I have like my actual shampoo, then I have a special shampoo for just my beard that actually has a face wash now. I just upgraded to a new one because the one I normally use isn't around anymore, which sucks because I like that one. But yeah, my beard just is as it is. There's no like styling or tips, and it's just patience. Like, if you're gonna grow a beard, I can tell you back when I was younger, there's a picture of me when I was 16 or 17, I remember, for my sister's birthday, and it's me and her take a photo, and I have a little tiny dirt stash, like this little tiny ugly looking thing, And it's so funny because now looking back at it, I was like, I look so cool then, or I thought I looked so cool because I had a little tiny mustache. And now this grows out over my mouth, and I'm just like, I got mayonnaise in it, and it's annoying. So yeah, there's no real, like, I guess, what's it called, tip or trick? Just wait it out. My beard just grows on its own, Stu. And I know that's why you asked. Your friend is yourself. The only friend you have is me. So, like, come on now. It's also coming from me, who the only friend I have is you. So, all me and Stu got is each other, buddy. But yeah, there you go, Stu. I hope that answers your question. Anybody out there has any question about my beard? It's just this. I don't do anything special with it. I comb it. Actually, I have a comb. I have a special comb for it, too. It's just a wooden comb I got for free when I bought my beard shampoo before. And then I got another one now. I don't use, like, any oils. I don't use pomades. I don't do anything. I don't do anything with it. I just literally leave it, and then I comb it a little bit later once it dries. That's it. That's it. Nothing special. Hope that works, Stu. Grow your beard. Everybody should grow a beard. All right, next question is Hyper Sand. Would you rather play with Blastermine for the rest of your life or play Swap Force on the Wii for the rest of your life? Blastermine. I've seen Swap Force for the Wii. I've seen it. I've played it. I own it. I have it for the Wii U actually, so it's even a little bit better, and it's still not good. I play with Blastermine every single day. If I could only play the 6 Skylander games with just Blastermine, I wouldn't be able to play the first 3. But I'd still rather that than play Swap Force on the Wii. I've seen it. I don't wish that on anybody. I wouldn't even wish that on FGTV. No. If I got a wish and it said you have to curse your worst enemy, which is FGTV, I would still say no. I can't do that. I'm not letting him play Swap Force on the Wii for the rest of his life. That's how much that means to me. How bad that game looks and plays and feels, you know? So yeah, I wouldn't risk. No, I can't even. It's not even a joke. This isn't even like this is a serious answer. Blastermine all day. I would not wish that on anybody. And the fact that you even asked that question hurt me personally as a real person. My heart, it crack when you say that. But yeah, Blastermine all day. Don't ever wish Swap Force in the Wii on anybody. If you don't believe me, just go watch one YouTube video and you'll change your mind forever. Don't even get me on Superchargers Racing, which I should do a playthrough of that this year. We'll talk about it in the future. But thank you, Hyper Sand. Hope that answers the question, and thanks for bringing up those memories. I totally didn't want to sleep tonight anyways. We're getting down to the last of it. This is number 20 here now, so there's only 5 questions left. Remember, if I don't answer your question on video, it will be answered in the comments tomorrow, so don't worry about that. Deathshade 2500. Okay, Crash, my question is, what is your favorite Skylanders and why? My top 3, I'll just do my top 3. Number 1 is Bash, number 2 is Wildfire, the Dark Version to be precise, and number 3 is Doomstone. I absolutely love these 3 Skylanders for 3 big reasons. Doomstone is the last Skylander I got in Swap Force. He was literally the last one I needed. I had all the cores, I had all the swappers except for Doomstone, and he was the one Skylander that lived up to all the hype that waited for me to find this Skylander. The day I got Doomstone, I screamed internally. I knew I was waiting for it forever. I got home that day and maxed him out to level 20 right off the bat, got him all his moves, and I loved playing every single second with him. And to this day, I still love playing as Doomstone, and that's never going to change. Dark Wildfire is a Skylander that I played with for years with the regular Wildfire, and I had a chance to get Dark Wild for a whopping $3, if I'm not mistaken. It was $2 or $3. And I said, nah, I'm fine. I went to work that night, and I was like, oh, I should have got him. And then the next day I went to get him, and I didn't find him, and it only took me 2.5 years to find him afterwards. And I finally got him, and that's why Dark Wildfire sits right there on my shelf, right there. Because Dark Wildfire is that Skylander that I regretted for my entire life, and that's why he literally has a new motto for me. If I have the money to buy something, I'm going to buy it because I will never see it again. I wanted to buy Cat Dog on DVD, the entire series, and I said, nah, I'll leave it. And I've never seen it since. So, yeah, don't regret it. Bash is the perfect Skylander. He has speed, strength, and range all put into one. I absolutely love playing with Bash. One of the first times I put him on the portal, I knew this is a Skylander I was going to play with from beginning to end, and I knew I'd love every second of it. He is a rock dragon. He's kind of a dinosaur. He reminds me of my all-time favorite dinosaur, the Ankylosaurus, with his giant mace on his tail. I love the Ankylosaurus have that, and I think that's one of the reasons I connected to him right away. but playing with Bash completely changed my mind, and I love playing with him from day one. All the way up to now, with every single Skylander game and every Skylander that's come out since, Bash still sits on the back of my mind of having so much fun with the first time I've ever played with. And to this day, I could still play an entire game from beginning to end with him. I've done it 5 times, as I mentioned earlier. So those are my top 3 favorite Skylanders, and that's why. Hope that works for you, Death Shade. Thank you for your question. Number 21 is Ra-ta-ta-sa-ta-ta. That's a name. Which Skylander have you played with the least? Good question. It's probably going to be the ones I still have wrapped up. So, like, I wouldn't say Spotlight, but probably Cobra Kadabra, if I had to guess. Because the ones I have still in the packages, I kind of just have them for collector value. Overall, it's probably Gnarly Barkley, to be precise, because I've only played with him maybe 3 times ever. But any of the Skylanders, the main ones I have that are like main characters that I've used, should use a lot more, I gotta say probably King Cobra Kadabra is probably going to be one of the number ones for that, just because of the fact that when they're in the package, I kind of just leave them there, because I don't want to risk playing with them, because I don't want to injure the package. So I have played Spotlight a lot because Spotlight was in that lock at the time in the Superchargers Dragon Lock 2. So I did play with him a lot. Cobra Kadabra, I've only played with him a few times. Even on Odyssey Half Hour when I put him on the portal, he was like level 3. So I've only played with him like once. So that's probably the Skylander I played with the least. Along with that, it might be, say, Bad Juju for Imaginators. That's probably second place, and I don't know who third would be. Maybe like Tough Luck, because I'm not a big fan of playing as Tough Luck. So yeah, that's probably my 3. But number 1 is definitely King Cobra Kadabra. I don't think it could be any other option besides for him. So yeah, King Cobra Kadabra is definitely my least played with Skylander, because he's still in the package and I don't want to ruin it. Our next question, episode number 22, is Davis Harper, longtime viewer of the channel. I know this name for a while. What has been your favorite episode of Odyssey Half Hour so far? Now, I would normally say the 100 episode just because, that's just a walk down memory lane, but the audio ruined it. And I don't even want to go watch it myself, and I hate the fact that I found that out at the end of the episode, so I didn't really want to go refilm everything. Luckily, you can hear what I say, and it just sucks that it didn't turn out well. However, one of my favorite episodes is definitely the ones where I was playing with Skylar, I was dreading, and then turned into so much fun, like Wolfgang, Neo Cortex, Prism Break, Chompy Mage, only a few episodes ago. But I think one of the most fun that I had, which I still remember to this day, is Smolder Dash. I remember the first day when I pulled Smolder Dash's name, I was sitting there so excited to play with her because I'm like, I'm going to have a blast playing this. And I did. I remember that half hour literally flew because of how much fun I was having playing as Smolder Dash. And I think that was one of my favorites just because I love that so much. As of right now, there's still another 9 or 10. No, there's I think 7 characters left, and I don't think any of them are going to enjoy as much as I did playing a Smolder Dash, or the Bumble Blast episode that I did only there a couple weeks ago. You can see how much fun I have playing with certain Skylanders, and Smolder Dash is definitely one of the ones. If you want to see me just enjoy Skylanders, go back and watch that episode, and you're going to be like, yeah, Crash had a blast playing that. But any of the ones that surprised me, like Wolfgang, Chompy Mage, Prism Break, even Jetpack's episode, all those ones just sit on the back of my mind as ones that I enjoy because I went in being negative, or Slobbertooth actually, going in negative and then coming out super positive in the end, and that's really cool. Also, another memorable one is Hoot Loops, how disappointed I was. And of course, Gear Shifts, when I was playing on hard and thought she was just horrible, and I was just playing on hard. Yeah, Davis Harper, I hope that answers. Smolder Dash is definitely my favorite episode just because I had so much fun playing with her, and I would do it again in a heartbeat. Okay, our next question is Guilherme Gaspar. Question for the SkyTuber who likes copies. If a Skylander let's say, Washbuckler is defeated, if you put another Washbuckler, not a variant like Dark Washbuckler, but straight up another Washbuckler, will it work? Or does it count as a defeated Skylander? Or is there a limit of how too many times you can use the same character? Thanks for the video. As far as I know, every Skylander has their own unique chip to him. So if you put a Washbuckler on a portal and he dies, that Washbuckler is dead. But then you put another Washbuckler on there. When it comes to lock rules, the Skylander is considered dead. So I can't use a new Washbuckler. It doesn't matter which one. I have 3 different T-Rexes there. I have 1 on the shelf, 2 in the actual bins back there. But that doesn't mean I can just grab another T-Rex and he's still alive. So that's how the lock rule goes. But in general, if you play an entire game where you play as nothing but tree Rexes the entire time, if you have 8 different tree Rexes, one of them dies, you can use another tree Rex. It doesn't actually stop you in the game. Very weird question to ask on a Q&A, but it counts, I guess. So yeah, that's how it works. But for me, when it comes to like lock rules, I wouldn't consider that. So if my washbuckler dies in a lock, he's considered dead and I can't use any other washbuckler. But you can use any other washbuckler you want. It doesn't need to be a dark version. You can literally just use another washbuckler. It doesn't register the actual Skylander, it registers to the actual Skylander you put on the portal. So you can do an entire game with just washbucklers if you wanted to. And then after you're done that level, they'll all come back to life anyways. So hope that answers your question. Again, a weird one for number 23. We're almost done, and then this one pops up. So thank you, Guilherme, for that question regardless. I hope I pronounced your name correctly. But yeah, hope that answers it for you. All right, number 24, second last question is Alvaro Santos Coutinho. Sorry if I pronounced that wrong. Do you intend to make your every Skylanders ranked videos after finishing the On This Half Hour series? Yes, I'm very glad this question was asked so I can discuss this. The whole plan of On This Half Hour is for me to get a full definitive rating of every single Skylander I played as and how I feel with them. So now I have literally no excuse to do the every second Sensei ranked video where I never gave any of them a fair chance. Looking back at it now, that was stupid of me, and people have ripped me apart because I never gave them a fair chance. Which is weird because certain Skylanders on that list are actually going to be way higher up when I do that rank. So my plan is once On This Half Hour is over, I don't know when it's going to happen, but I will be redoing the Every Sensei ranked list and my top 10 least favorite Skylanders list. So first time in 9 years, I'm going to be doing a sequel to my top 10 least favorite Skylanders video. So I've done a couple of least, worst top 5, stuff like that, but I've never really done something when it came to that one. So I will be redoing that one for sure, and my Every Sensei run will be ranked. Everything else, however, I think is still pretty accurate. I think the only one that might be different is probably the Every Spyro's Adventure character ranked. But I do intend on doing every Skylanders ever ranked. Every single Skylander ever ranked from worst to best. That's going to be a very long one. Luckily, in the new year, I will be discussing a new format with you guys, so I'll probably be able to work on that one kind of slowly in between. But that's the plan, is I will be redoing those 2 videos at least. If there's another one you think I should redo after it's over, especially the Spyro's Adventure one, then I can totally do that. But I think everything else is still pretty the same when it comes to how I feel about it, because most of the time, it's my personal ranking, right? But yeah, I'm definitely going to do the Sensei ranked one again and my top 10 least favorites. So thank you, Alvaro, for that question. I'm very glad someone asked that one and it came up in video because I will be redoing that one 100%. Let's get on to the final question. It's time. And our last question comes from K-Pow. He actually asked 2 questions. So you know what? I'm feeling good. Let's do 25 and 26. His first question is, so Dragonlock has had a sequel, so any of the other ones will? Yeah, I actually have certain ones planned. There are sequels involved, and there's also going to be retries involved. Certain ones I want to actually give another try to. I already have one on the works. It's almost completely done, ready to go. In the new year, that's actually one of the first sets of videos I upload, because I'm planning on finishing that one up there now. I just got to do the last bit of editing, which is just do my intro and outro type thing. So I just got to throw those on there. That is a retry. However, I do have a sequel plan too. So I'm not sure how the sequel is going to work. Have it on the list to do in the future if I kind of run out of videos. But yeah, I plan that sequel happens, so I do plan on doing another one, but it's mostly going to be retries where I try again with a certain set of Skylanders I did lose with before. Because there's one video where one series, the newest one I'm going to be doing, that needed a retry just because I know I'm better than what I was. And I will 100% be doing the villain lock again because at that time I was burnt out and didn't realize it. So I want to give that one another try once I have a clear head and I'm ready to go again. So we'll go with that one. And of course, the last question, who is your least favorite Skylander now? Still Sprocket. It's not Sunburn. It's Sprocket. Just because I played an hour with her doesn't mean I like her anymore. Sprocket's still my least favorite Skylander. So, spoiler for my top 10 least favorite video, it's still going to be Sprocket as number 1. I gave her a good try. You've seen it in the video, but nah, it just don't work. She even died in On This Half Hour. And not just me being stupid, it's just her being bad. That's going to do it for this Q&A. Thank you so much for sticking to the end. If you did, leave a comment below saying, hey Crash, I stuck to the end. I love that middle parts. But don't say what it is, just say, I love that middle part. And people will be like, what middle part? And then they'll just go and find the middle of the video and be like, nothing happened. What? You should watch the whole thing. Then you'd understand why I'm saying this, right? Yeah. I kind of spoiled it. But yeah, say literally in the comments being like, hey, Crash, I made it to the end. That middle part was great. That's how I know you watched the whole thing. Or you just skipped to the end and just saw this part. Regardless, thank you so much for watching. I hope you guys had a fantastic 2022. I hope you guys have a great New Year's Day and Eve tonight for New Year's Eve. Stay safe, stay responsible, all that stuff. In the new year, there's going to be a lot of new stuff coming for Crash the Skylands. There's going to be lots of new videos, playthroughs, all that stuff. I will be doing a new video in the future discussing, as I mentioned, there's going to be a new format I'm going to be working on the channel, which I think is going to be better overall for myself, for the content, and for you guys watching. It's going to involve a lot more live streams too. Don't worry. I was planning on doing a live stream, but, you know, I died. So, oh no, I'm dead. So, yeah, hope you guys look forward to that one. I hope you guys have a fantastic rest of the year leading into your new year. There's only one day left. But remember, I will be answering any question I did not answer in video in the comments tomorrow. Get ready for that. If not tomorrow, the next day. Don't worry, I will be answering all the comments. I promise that. But yeah, thank you so much for watching. Y'all mean the world to me. Don't ever forget it. And I hope you guys had a fantastic 2022, just like I did here on the channel. Get ready for year 9 of Crash the Skylands next year. Crazy. 9 years of Crash the Skylands next year. Y'all mean the world to me. Don't ever forget it. But as always, I bid you farewell.